After spending 3 days working on her, I'm not 3 kilometers away when a noise has stopped me in my tracks.
Not even 5 minutes. I got fuel and suddenly heard this very loud cracking sound from inside. It feels like it's coming from over here. Not promising at all. And also the fuel tank the fuel filler is leaking petrol, and I didn't fill it up. I filled it to 3/4 and it's leaking petrol. Okay, not what I wanted right now, but better now than in the middle of the Nullarbor.
What began as a quest to find and purchase, no matter its state, my Range Rover that I sold 30 years ago, has led me to this. Sleeping the night, curled on the back seat, to be woken by the Australian bush calls and being reacquainted with the familiar smell of gear oil. This series of videos is that story. I'm St Pierre White. Join me as I share my passion for building four-wheel drive trucks and travelling to the remotest parts of the world. If you enjoy this video, please subscribe and remember to hit that notifications bell to make sure you catch our weekly videos.
It's taken me a total of 12 hours of work to get this far. Take out the floor and the seats and give it a bit of a clean. It's not very clean, but it'll do until we take it out. I've also taken out the steering column for replacement.
Horrible noise. Sorry you can't get rid of me, but there's a horrible noise from. What sort Sounds like it's coming from this area here. I'm pretty sure it's engine.
Working on old Range Rovers is not unfamiliar to me, and having people help me work on old Range Rovers is also not unfamiliar to me. This was in 1988, and I decided to change the very agricultural LT95 gearbox to another one. Land Rover's newer 4-speed box, not as noisy, just as heavy.
We've just taken the old gearbox out using this bit of pole, just like we've done here. It's hell of difficult to get it out. It's hell of a heavy. This is going to be more difficult though to get in because we've got to align it up, and it's just not a matter of shaking it around like the one we took out. You have to actually align it perfectly within millimeters to get it in. So. What do you do now? Put the gearbox in.
Put it back. And where's my coffee gone?
I threw it out. It's bone cold. It had scum on the surface.
That's you, man. That's how I like it. I was like saving it up to have this cold scum on top.
And the truth be told, I miss having my mates around to work on old Range Rovers.
How much does that weigh?
160 kilos.
Not that it's no longer a hobby, I still love doing this kind of thing. But having a business running it's not quite the same.
This is definitely lighter. I'm telling you it's lighter.
Maybe because no parking time. You've got one year. You got some foot? That you could carry on. You have three on each side, but
This is the old filter for the old gearbox. It's full of steel. There's some quite large bits in here. That's metal. This is behind Andrew Johnson's side. This is the gearbox. This is new.
Andrew, please tell us how you're feeling right now.
Good.
Anyway, enough reminiscing. Got to get this thing back on the road.
When it first happened, it was very loud.
Not slowing down?
Yeah, I think I was slowing down. I wasn't under high power. maybe slowing down. It was coming from the engine, it was not transmission.
The handbrake grabbing?
No, and the first thing I did was push the handbrake down. Handbrake was all the way down.
That levers and notch out.
Just make sure that sorry, I didn't roll the camera. We went for a drive. It's the fan. The fan inside here was knocking. I feel like an idiot.
And the fuel cap. Since I'm here, ask Pete to take a look.
And it feels soft, like they've possibly replaced it, but it's still not sealing very good.
Maybe we should just give that a clean, I don't know. They never did seal well.
No,
they were never good.
You can take that off, and there is a screw there, and it's under spring tension. So we can possibly maybe give it a, adjust it, give it a bit more tension. Hopefully it'll
push on there a bit harder.
Yeah, seal a bit better. All we can do is try, but the seal itself is soft. It's been replaced. It's not the original one. They usually rock hard. All we can do is hope and pray. I've adjusted it so it's got a bit more force, sort of clamping force now.
Okay.
But,
Without too much fanfare and feeling a little embarrassed, I left, got back on the road. Even though the gearbox noise has been suppressed, the noise in this cab is going to be difficult to live with.
Now the audio recording on the little action camera cuts out a lot of the low frequency sounds. So you are not hearing what I'm hearing. It's being filtered. And I'm now doing 90. It's loud in here. And it's not gearbox. The gearbox is sorted. Engine note only. So I'm going to do a bit of work. I'm trying to sort out engine noise. You can't hear what I'm hearing. I wish you could, but you can't. Very loud in here. I am becoming more comfortable though with the vehicle. The more I drive it, the more. The seats are vinyl. It's not even hot and I'm sweating. So I can't do anything about that. That I'm going to have to just live with. It's a long way. I kind of sitting here sobering up of what I've done and what I've bought. I think my emotional state at the moment is that I'm very excited I've got myself a Range Rover again. But it's a bit like, never meet your heroes. It's wonderful, and it's bringing back all these lovely memories and memories that I will cherish all my life. But at the same time, it's not very nice to drive. If I was going to build myself a daily driver that I would use regularly, surely I would buy a vehicle that was nice to drive. It wouldn't be this. Some people have asked, this is your new Overlander. No! No. This is fun. This is a flashback. This is nostalgia. And I have this thing going in my head all the time. What are you going to do with it? When are you going to do it with? And I have to tell myself, it doesn't matter what you do with it. It's not important what you do with it. What's important is not letting that affect this. The fact is that I've got myself my third Range Rover Classic, and it's it's an old car, and we have all agreed that there's a better than 50% chance that I will make it all the way to Western Australia without mechanical difficulty, and that if I have to do something, it might be quite easy for me to do, given the space I've got and the tools I've got, as long as it's not overly complicated, and then I'm able to diagnose whatever problem appears. There's a good chance that I will make it without difficulty. But then what? Well, hold on a minute. The purpose of this trip is to tell a whole lot of stories. I have volumes of stories that I have never told about my adventures in my first classic, my first 8 years of off-roading and overlanding. And I have some real stories and real adventures that I will be telling you. And what a great way of conjuring up all those wonderful memories. So if you haven't subscribed already, what have you got to lose? We have some wonderful stories that I'm going to tell over the next 3,555 kilometers.
Let me firstly put that in perspective. I must drive across Australia to take my car home. That's like driving, if I was in Southern Africa, Cape Town to Windhoek, Namibia, Bulawayo, Zimbabwe, on to Harare. Or in North America, Seattle to Detroit. Or if I was in Europe, London to Warsaw, Poland, and back. But with a difference. On my route there is only one large town, some call it a city. It's called Adelaide, and I'll get there in one day. It's the middle bit, which contains mostly nothing. That is worrying me.
Having now suppressed a lot of the noise from the gearbox, I'm now tackling engine noise. I'm going to start with the exhaust, replacing the missing muffler right at the end of the exhaust, replacing that because it's kind of a drumming howl, and sitting in the driver's seat I'm just hearing this roar behind me, which is probably well over 50% of the engine noise that I'm hearing is exhaust. So I got to suppress that. And then the engine itself, I'm going to have a go at fitting the Brit-Part bonnet. There's a bonnet lining that they had in their catalogue, surprisingly, for old Range Rovers. So I'm going to try and fit that before I leave. Then I've done all three: engine, gearbox, exhaust.
So you just want to put a resonator in? That front one's pretty much rooted.
Yeah, that one's okay. Eh? It's not great, but what I wanted to do is put something back here. The standard, there's normally a resonator sitting here, and I'm hearing so much noise coming directly from here. I thought if I could suppress that, I'll be in good shape.
That's easy enough. We can just put a resonator in the back.
Okay, because to me, the thing that makes me tired when I'm driving is noise. It's for me a massive factor. Probably the most significant factor. That you say is the simplest solution for
that? Yeah, without having a modified pipe work.
Right.
That's the simplest way.
Okay, let's do that.
I'll do that.
And that's why I put sound insulation into my troop carriers, because if I can suppress the sound, then I can just do longer days behind the wheel.
Hopefully that will do the trick, but I do have one other trick to try. There are also some preventative maintenance tasks that I wish to tackle.
Right, I want you to meet somebody who's going to help me do the final preparation. How you doing? Good, mate. That looks fantastic. Does it look nice? Yeah.
This is my nephew, James, son of brother Simon. James is an avid four-wheel drive enthusiast and has owned several 4x4s, including 60 Series, 80 Series, Troop Carrier, GQ and GU patrols, and his current flame, a Land Cruiser double cab.
This now is the last stage of preparation work, which includes sorting out some of the electrical wiring in here. The ignition wiring is very untidy. The joints have come loose. It's just basically like a bird's nest, bad. Never mind, easy to fix. The noise inside the vehicle with the engine now still very, very loud. This was supplied by Brit-Part, and I'm going to do some kind of way of holding that in. It might look a bit crude, and it's certainly not going to be original. I'm trying to get to Perth. Yeah. It might look crude, but it'll do the job. The last thing is wheels, tyres, pressures, wheel nuts, and I'm just going to go through with a screwdriver every single pipe, clip, connection I can find, and I'm going to make sure they're tight, particularly the ones in here. From the bottom to the top. So if you can take that up, I'm going to put it on the curve.
Self-tension and
That's right.
push that up.
Do another one in the middle,
Yeah.
like that, and put a pop rivet in the middle, and then this will hold it closed when the bonnet is closed.
Yeah.
Yes, it's crude. I get it. It is crude. It's got to do a job. It's a mess. Look at these. So if I look at this pink cable, it has one join, 2, 3 joins when it only needs 1. And this green one has 1, 2, but it only needs 1. Anyway, we'll sort this out. There's the electrical installation finished, and you know, whenever you do these things, you find wires lying everywhere, not connected to anything. I found another one there. I'm going to mark this. I'm not sure if this is strictly the right product for this application, but I reckon if I put some of this on the inner panels behind this, it's gonna make a difference to the sound. So I'm going to grab 2 of those panels.
I have to tell you now that while I appear calm on the outside, inside, I just can't wait to get back on the road again. The effect of COVID on my expeditions meant an 8-month gap without travel, then a short trip, and then another 8 months without getting onto the open road. Normally a gap, for me, a long one, is 2 months. So I'm itching to leave.
I have a fuel question. I'm going to carry 10 litres of petrol because I have a leaking filler cap. I don't know how bad the leak is going to be, so I can fill up. I can have what I need and lose a whole lot of it, and this is my 10 litre contingency. So I will fill this up only when I'm at those spots where I need the maximum range out of the vehicle, and really it's a comfort factor. I'm hoping I will not need it, but you never know. The spare parts that I'm hoping I won't need will on the top 2 boxes, and then the additional spares which I almost definitely won't need in the other 2. So check wheel nuts, and then I think I'm done. I'm so efficient. It's always better a second time. I think I'm done mechanically. I do need to just check. I've done all the work. What I now have to do is sort out the vehicle interior, because contingency is that I might need to make it a home for a while, sleep in the back. So I got this really cheap and nasty sleeping bag, a just in case measure, and I need to get the battery low down far forward wedged behind the seat, and that means I have to unplug it from the fridge, because the fridge cable doesn't quite make it, and I have to reroute the fridge cable, which I shall do. This goes down here like this. And that is gonna go into there. And the great part about this box is that I have plugged in with an Anson cable my breakout box, all my USB things, everything else I need, I actually don't really need that now because this is now down here. I can take my USB and plug them straight into here, which I'm going to do, but I'm going to leave that attached because I never know, during the trip I might need it. So I'm just going to leave it attached, lying on the bottom here. I have an inverter which I need for charging my new camera. I have not rigged up yet a system where I can charge it off 12 volts. So that's the purpose of that inverter there. So I would put my pillow here like this, and I could curl up like this and get those seat belts out of the way. That's not that uncomfortable actually. Well, it's not comfortable, but I have shelter, and it's not terrible. Really, it isn't terrible at all. If needs be, I can spend the night in the car and actually have a reasonable night's sleep. There are 2 stickers that I want to put on before I finally leave. First one is for Overland like this, and there is at the moment a t-shirt commemorating this particular journey, available from the 4X Overland merch store. It's a Range Rover, and if you look very carefully you'll see the 4X Overland logo right here. That's the first of 2 of them. Right, this one, where's it going to go best? No, maybe there. How's that look? Yes. The Off-Road History Museum, for those of you who don't know, is an absolutely outstanding 4-wheel drive museum about 1 hour out of Dubai, and it's if you're a 4-wheel drive enthusiast, it's you really have to see it. It is spectacular, and it doesn't matter what particular brand of 4-wheel drive that takes your fancy. All of the important ones are displayed, and it's a history museum. So it starts from the very first 4-wheel drive vehicles made on the planet to current ones. It's exceptional, and it is also a celebration, and they make this very clear, a celebration of the solid axle, and the fact that a solid axle on 4-wheel drive vehicles will always make a better off-roader than independent, and that's a fact. All right, independent also works well, works generally better on-road, but it never works better off-road. You can argue with me as much as you like. I don't care. That's what I think. Don't miss it. It's amazing.
Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe and click the notifications bell so you don't miss our weekly videos.